The dollar's days are numbered. BRICS alliance just predicted a US dollar collapse. Is your money safe?
Can the US dollar remain the global reserve currency?
Absolutely not.
So there's a very, very strong motivation for a lot of countries to move away from the dollar.
These countries comprise almost half of the world's population, hold close to half the world's oil, and want to dethrone the dollar as the world's reserve currency.
For all of our lives, the dollar has been the king of currencies around the world, but is that about to change?
The latest comes from the BRICS nations, who have announced their intention to create a gold-backed BRICS currency.
The US dollar is in danger of losing its status as the world's reserve currency.
Hey, have you been following the latest buzz in the financial world? If not, let me catch you up. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are making headlines with their bold plans to shake up the global financial system. The big news? They've announced moves towards creating a new currency, and this could have massive implications for the US dollar. Yes, you heard that right. The US dollar, long the kingpin of global finance, might be facing some serious competition. Intrigued? Let's dive into what this could mean for all of us. Why does this matter? You might be wondering, why should I care about what BRICS is doing? Well, the US dollar has been the dominant currency in international trade and finance for decades. Any threat to its supremacy can ripple through the global economy, affecting everything from the price of goods to your investment portfolio. Plus, with BRICS countries representing a significant chunk of the world's population and economic output, their decisions can't be ignored. Let's get to the heart of the matter. The BRICS nations have been toying with the idea of a new currency for a while, but things are heating up now. The BRICS summit, scheduled to commence in Russia in October 2024, will have the currency union high on the agenda. So, what's the big plan? The idea is to create a common currency that BRICS countries can use for trade and investment among themselves. This currency would reduce their reliance on the US dollar, which currently dominates global transactions. By doing this, BRICS hopes to shield their economies from the volatility and political risks associated with the dollar. Why now? You might ask why the dollar's dominance is being challenged. Well, several factors are at play. Firstly, let's talk about the US fiscal policies. Did you know that the national debt has skyrocketed to over $34 trillion? That's a staggering number. And the dollar, unlike in the past, isn't backed by gold or any tangible assets anymore. It's essentially just paper. And this makes people question its true value. Then there's the issue of geopolitical tensions and growing frustration with the US dollar's dominance, which gives the US significant leverage over global financial systems. The US has been pretty aggressive with sanctions, using the dollar as a tool to exert its influence. But what happens when countries get tired of this? For instance, during the Ukraine crisis, India continued trading with Russia, bypassing the dollar. This shows a clear desire to move away from a dollar-dominated system. And let's not forget the global south. Countries in Africa, Latin America, and Asia have long felt marginalized by the current financial system. They see the BRICS initiative as a chance to level the playing field. Why should they continue relying on a currency that seems to benefit the US disproportionately? A BRICS currency could provide an alternative, making it harder for any single country to wield such power. So, what happens if BRICS really goes ahead with this new currency? Could the US dollar's dominance be in jeopardy? Let's break down what this could mean and why some experts are skeptical. Firstly, let's put this into perspective. The US dollar has been the world's dominant currency since the end of World War II. It became the backbone of international trade and finance, primarily due to the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944, which established the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, pegged to gold at the time. This dominance has given the U.S. significant influence over global economic policies and sanctions. But history shows us that no currency holds supremacy forever. Before the dollar, the British pound was the leading global currency, and before that, other European currencies held sway. Could the BRICS currency be the next in line? Yes, it's possible. Economically, a new BRICS currency could reduce the global demand for the US dollar. Right now, countries need dollars to trade internationally, which keeps the dollar strong. If BRICS countries start using their own currency for trade, the demand for dollars could drop. This might lead to a weaker dollar, which could have wide-ranging effects. For example, if the dollar weakens, imports to the US could become more expensive, affecting everything from gas prices to electronics. Well, in the short term, the introduction of a BRICS currency could lead to significant market volatility. Investors might react nervously to any perceived threat to the dollar's dominance, potentially leading to fluctuations in currency values in stock markets. However, experts believe that the actual creation and implementation of such a currency would be a long-term process rather than an immediate shift.
The BRICS are already a bigger economic unit than the G7.
In reality, the US dollar is still the dominant trading currency the world over. And it's going to take a while.
The US dollar is less attractive now due to rising inflation and unrelenting debt.
Russia says the US is unloading its inflation on other countries, holding their dollars. Just look at Japan, which is collapsing.
If BRICS efforts are successful, we could see a gradual shift away from the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency. This process, known as de-dollarization, could reduce the dollar's influence in global trade, leading to broader implications for the U.S. economy, including potential impacts on inflation, interest rates, and international investment flows. But it's not all straightforward. Creating a new currency isn't as simple as printing new bills. It requires a robust institutional framework, including a central bank, regulatory standards, and financial oversight mechanisms. The BRICS nations have diverse economic systems and political agendas, which could complicate the establishment of these institutions. Consider the European Union's euro. Even with relatively aligned economies and strong political will, the transition to a common currency was fraught with difficulties. The euro required years of planning, numerous treaties, and significant compromises among member states. Many experts are skeptical about the short-term viability of a BRICS currency. Moreover, some experts believe that any new currency would likely be dominated by China, given its economic size and influence within BRICS. This could lead to resistance from smaller member countries that may not want to tie their economic fate too closely to China's policies. And let's not forget the political aspect. While BRICS countries share some common goals, they also have significant differences. For instance, China's economic strategies might not always align with India's or Brazil's. Getting these countries to agree on monetary policy could be like herding cats. It's a tough task, and the road to a unified currency is full of potential pitfalls. Still, the BRICS countries are serious about exploring alternatives to the dollar. They're already using local currencies more in trade. For example, Russia and China conduct a large portion of their trade in rubles and yuan instead of dollars. This trend is spreading, with countries like the UAE and India signing agreements to trade in their local currencies. But here's a twist. Using local currencies also comes with its own set of challenges. For one, convertibility is a big issue. Imagine you're in India with a pocket full of rupees, but you need to buy something from South Africa. You'll need to convert your rupees to rand, which isn't always easy due to different financial regulations and currency controls. In India, for example, strict capital controls make it hard to move money in and out of the country. This could hinder the smooth functioning of a multi-currency system. One of the most significant strategies is the promotion of local currencies in cross-border transactions. For example, China has been leading the charge with its renminbi, RRMB, leveraging bilateral currency swap agreements with over 41 countries. This network has facilitated a significant portion of China's international trade being settled in RMB rather than USD. Another exciting idea on the table is creating a digital currency. Imagine being able to trade internationally without worrying about exchange rates or hefty transaction fees. Digital currencies can make transactions faster and more secure, and they're less susceptible to sanctions. With the rise of blockchain technology, this isn't as far-fetched as it might sound. You might be wondering, though, can a digital currency really compete with the dollar? Well, if it's widely adopted and backed by strong economies, it just might. Then there's the option of backing the new currency with gold or other commodities. This idea harks back to the days when currencies were tied to physical assets. The main advantage here is trust. People tend to trust something that has tangible value. But would modern economies really go for this? It's a debate among experts, but having a currency tied to gold could appeal to investors looking for stability. However, each of these mechanisms has its pros and cons. A digital currency could revolutionize trade, but needs robust cybersecurity and widespread acceptance. Gold backing might boost trust, but could limit economic flexibility. So, which one do you think would work best? Share your thoughts in the comments, and to watch the latest geopolitical news, watch this video here.